Thank you for joining our webinar, How to Turn Inspections into a Digital Process. Uh, I know you are busy in your morning, in this morning of Wednesday. It's very cold outside. And first of all, I thank you very much for joining me in this morning. Um, Also, I wanted to say just before really starting that if you would like to suggest another time for the next meeting, I would appreciate, and we will try to accommodate the new timing. So for today, what we have in mind, and I will now switch into the presentation that we have quickly um, uh, available. So the key topic today is really, well, as you already signed up for, is to know how to transform an inspection into a digital process. So the agenda for today is I will quickly cover an intro where I will briefly talk about what Kianda is. I would say most of you connected today are already aware of what Kianda is. And then I will quickly go into the whys. Why would anyone want to bother trying to digitalize an inspection into a digital process? And then straight into the Kianda inspection app for a demo. And finally, we will have a bit of time where I will pause and wait for any questions to arrive. Going straight into what Kianda is. Kianda is a business process automation platform, which is no-code platform. So what you see right now in front of you is a representation of a particular dashboard showing results of input from the left side. So users themselves would go in and submit information via forms, and then via dashboards that are also available in mobile views, you would be able to manage that process end to end. So that's really it. In a nutshell, Kianda is a no-code business process automation. It allows you to build end-to-end processes. It comes with application templates, pre-built application templates. One of them, as you already know, is the inspection checklist, and allows you to design, connect, and publish. That's the philosophy of Kianda. So going ahead with our agenda for today is why? Why would someone bother converting a checklist or a site inspection checklist into a digital process? First of all, continuous improvement. So it is hard for anyone to do that continuous improvement using paper or spreadsheets, or at some stage will end up with a lot of data, a lot of information, and might be difficult to collate all of that. With a digital process, you will be able to see the trends in terms of why things are not happening, what are the typical questions in your checklist that are always failing, and you will be able to extract valuable information and improve the process in itself. Another quick win is automatic notification. So you would schedule an inspection and get automated notifications to you or to the inspectors that are actually supposed to go and run that inspection. Digital records and signatures is also a no-brainer, where, for example, you would be able to get an inspector going on a particular site and require the site project manager or someone else on site to digitally sign the inspection that just happened. So that is also a really great way of ensuring that things actually are being captured on the right, um, in the right manner. So in addition, all the other benefits to digitalizing something like that is dynamic question and that. So if you have that in paper, as you imagine, it's not going to be possible to have a paper-based form and then have it dynamically change from one path to the other. And next we'll have image annotation and ultimately save time. So save time is really the key benefit of doing all of that, which is basically allowing you to schedule multiple of them and simply sit back and wait for results to come back to you. Okay, so um, now what I'm going to do is swap into the application in itself, where I will be able to quickly demonstrate what our inspection checklist involves. So in this case, I have in front of you the QHSE dashboard, which is something that involves a few more items than just the inspection in itself. The reason why I'm showing that to you right now is inspections are really one aspect of something that's much deeper, much involving. For example, during an inspection or because someone complained, there could be scheduled an inspection, or even during the inspection, someone might find out that there is leak on a particular ceiling, and then that will originate a maintenance process to be started from that particular inspection, or even corrective action plan. So all of these four processes are linked together, including the incident reporting. Again, inspections could be triggered by a particular incident that happened last year, and then this year we are going to imagine schedule recurring inspections, and then from those inspections we could schedule corrective action plans. Okay, so for today, really what we want to talk about is the inspections. And what I'm going to do quickly is to run through the inspection dashboard. In this one, I can see the number that are in progress, the ones that were reassigned, the ones that were already completed by the inspector and submitted for approval, and the number of them that are actually fully completed, as in that went through end-to-end inspection process. Now, I'm talking about an inspection process. It stops being simply that checklist where you actually say yes or no to a particular predefined list of questions, and becomes a natural process where you have the questions and you have someone that will actually review the results and finally potentially even approve those results at the end of the week. So I will quickly click on start a new inspection checklist. At the moment, I would say that you can see my screen and what you can see. So once you do start, you would be presented with the inspection details. Here in this screen, really you are scheduling or providing the details of the inspection. All of those fields that you see here are completely customizable. So you can change, remove, add those fields really the way you want. So in this case, I will just proceed very quickly into the inspection, and then at later stage, I will show you what the kind of questions you might have in your mind, which is how to actually change to adapt to my organization. Okay, so before that, on the top, you would see the main stages of the inspection. So one of them is the inspection details, next is the actual inspection, and finally the approval. And that matches what you have seen in the dashboard in itself. So I will say requested by me, and the inspector name is me. I will keep all of this data as is. So I will set today at 10:30, and then I will say that the inspection type is first time, project name, webinar site. And then project location is Dublin. I have a typo here, correct that. Inspection type is inspection, demo, a webinar site inspections. Do you have any companions? This is something that is useful in certain organizations. You could then say that, yes, you have additional people that will be accompanying, following you during the inspection, other than just the inspector. You could here define those users that will be following with the inspector. And then again, you can also additionally upload files, so previous documents that were related to the inspection. As an example, a previous report of that same inspection. Why is that useful? Because the inspector will have access to that documentation on the date of the inspection. They will be notified of that inspection and presented with additional documents that they need to present. So once I do schedule that, the dashboard is already telling me that there is one in progress, scheduled for today at 10:30. I will not wait for the notification. I will simply go back in and click on the inspection itself. Once I do that, I will navigate into the inspection. So this is what the inspector will do once they are within the site, and so they will be able to choose to respond to the actual questions that are in the inspection. So some of those questions might not be applicable. Some of them we might choose not to actually respond, and this is fully customizable. So I will say the risk level is low, recommendation okay, and then they might choose to upload a few pictures, and I have a few nice pictures here. And once they do upload those pictures, as I said, you can also go in and provide annotations of the same picture. This is a nice feature. So imagine that you were going to a site inspection and you were looking to highlight where a particular leak existed within the ceiling, then this would be the kind of feature would allow you to do the same. So once you respond to all of those questions, or the ones that you would find not okay, so the ones that you would find necessary to respond, then you would then continue to other sections of the actual inspection. So you would then say, have you discovered any known conformities in terms of safety? General comments, oh, okay. And you would be able to also upload general information on this section. Again, all of these sections are completely customizable. You can upload, add new sections into the various for other areas. For example, we have two sections, one for safety and one for quality, and we could extend that to include more of those. So once I do that, I can then save and sign. So once I do click to save and sign, the system will provide the option to save to sign. So I can then say, so this is going to be on the actual date, and then approval manager I'm going to send to myself, and then I will provide the signature. So in this case, it could define my signature, or I could simply just draw the signature there. I can also have the option to upload a handwritten signature, which is going to be only once. And once I do that, the system allows me to complete the part of the inspector. So now the inspection is complete. It has now moved into submitted for approval. So at that stage, the inspection is submitted for approval. It was initially in progress, submitted for approval now, and we could have another status which is reassigned. For example, someone could have not be able to complete one. The inspector, for example, could not be available. Then you would be able to take that and reassign to someone else. So moving on into the inspection checklist here, we can then be able to reopen the same, just to quickly show the actual generated report. So the system automatically took all of the questions that were provided during the inspection with the images and everything else, then generated a report that I can now download and visualize. So that is now going to include a report, a PDF report. This is fully customizable PDF report. It could be looking at anything else. As long as can fit into a PDF, the system would be able to generate that inspection checklist for you. So once that is done, the approval manager would then decide, okay, I'm happy with that. I could say inspection completed. Wait, highest standard. So once that happens, the manager can also sign. In this case, it's the same person, so it will automatically pre-fill my signature so that I don't have to draw or upload again my signature. This is only available to myself. So at that stage, I can click OK and approve. So once you have the signature, the approval complete, then the system will automatically list the inspection within the completed inspection. So this is really a completed inspection that would not that is closed at that stage. That can now serve as the basis for other inspections, or really to set the trend of inspections for questions, how certain questions have been replied in the past. So you can also see in the right side the count of inspections based on location. So I will quickly just go into the designer now, because at that stage you are asking perhaps, how do I add my own questions to this? Where are the questions? How do I manage that? So if I go into expand administration and into designer, then I can expand QHSC, and in here I will find the inspection checklist. Inside of here, within this similar screen that you have seen for the end user in itself, I will see that I have a questions database, which is really a CSV file. Once I download that, I will be able to edit. In fact, I already have another database that contains additional questions, and simply to show that, I will stop in this other screen. So in this one, I have a few new questions, which is around HSC type of standard questions. In the previous file, I had only 6 questions. I have added 4 new questions, and now I can take that and replace the original questions. I can go into my desktop and select questions for webinar, upload that, and once I do that and save, the new questions will be immediately available for use. So in this case, whenever I go and start a new inspection, just to quickly show that those new questions in place. And I will be able to schedule that. And once I do schedule that, I can go back here and reopen that, and I can see that the new questions are now in place. So as easy, as simple as that, you can amend, update new questions. This is getting at the end of my standard presentation, and if you have any questions, please ask the questions now. Absolutely not. So Kianda is something that works while you are offline. So if you are offline, you would be able to as you can see here, you are online. The system would allow you to work while you are offline. So it would allow you to upload files, upload images, annotate on those images, and automatically, when you get to your desktop, the system will synchronize that with your backend system. So be it a SharePoint, a file server, or something else. Again, the files can be stored in most common storage points. So we have supports from SharePoint to file servers to Google Drives to whatever. So you have a very wide range of data sources available. So as in terms of file storage, we have the likes of SharePoint, we have the likes of file system, FTP, Dropbox, Google Drive, and even more. So for inspectors to be able to complete their inspection, they would need to have a subscription. So this is a question that we received. Have all involved in a site inspection, do all of them need a subscription? And the answer is perhaps not, but at least the main actors would need. So for example, as I said, the inspector might need, the person that is scheduling that might actually need, but perhaps site admins or people on site that will be signing the inspection might not need. So Kianda has the ability to provide anonymous forms where, for example, a customer, in this case on site, that needs to sign a particular inspection might not need a license, because they will get an anonymous form where they sign, and that closes or proceeds with the inspection. Yes. So you can prioritize those questions. So in this example, what we have is simply the list of questions. In another more complete examples, you would be able to prioritize questions. You would even be able to say, to create a conditional type of logic. And all of that is really done in your database of questions. So you would have ability to say that if question is no, answer for question one is no, then show two more additional questions dynamically. So you would also be able to prioritize questions based on previous answers. So that's very important. So from a security point of view, Kianda comes with a really high level of flexibility around making inspections confidential. So certain inspections might arise from an incident that will most likely contain confidential and sensitive information. So that kind of information can be stored securely in backend systems, which will only be available to authorized users and immediately only secured, really. So from a security point of view, would only be available to authorized users. And even within the forms and the applications in itself, we have the ability to show certain sections of fields to different profiles of users. So certain users might only see the general information, and other users might be able to see images or information that is sensitive in terms of security. Okay, so I think we covered a lot today. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me through my email that is now displayed on the screen. And if you didn't do that yet, please start a trial of Kianda, going to kianda.com, and you will have the ability to start a trial of Kianda and try the QHSE or the site inspections process app. Again, thank you very much for joining me today, and see you again soon.